Excite Bunny is a web app for sex workers that want true agency of their content and bodies. We are creator-focused and member satisfaction-focused. We welcome all type of bodies, sexual tastes, and orientations. We are for sexual empowerment and education, and the decriminalization of sex work in the U.S. Something for everyone.
Yeah, that's what I told her to do too, and I understand. I mean, if you did it.
Here you go.
Okay, ladies, I have to tell you about this game that I just got for me and my man.
Yeah?
We have been playing it every night, and our relationship has never been better.
Really?
I'm not kidding. It's literally the best game ever.
Oh, I heard about this game. Let me see.
Yeah.
Even if
What do you think we're talking
you
about?
can play six. Oh my god, it's
I don't know.
Oh my god. Oh. I mean, would you ever try it? Absolutely. Oh my god, if we could all play.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Omar the Rebel, and this is Tribe Chat, the long-form podcast of alternative sexuality of Nzuri Kabila or NK Swingers from a black perspective. We make you think, we make you laugh, and we make you come. Yo, I'm holding it down right here for Big Pink Pegasus. She is taking some time off right about now during this episode, but she will be joining us, all right? So, also wanted to tell everybody to make sure that you catch us on Full Swap Radio as well as K97 FM, the adult party station. Like and subscribe and bang that little bell on the side of our YouTube, the one that looks like a click. But follow us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook as well. And I wanted to give a couple of shout outs. Well, first of all, let's give a shout out to Excite Bunny, the first black ownered social platform revolutionizing adult social content. And also, we want to give a shout out to Triple X Playground, of course. TPX is a fun-filled game that can be played amongst couples with a third in a person or with a group. Or in a group. It will provide an opportunity to explore different sexual realms and suggestively take you into the sexual height you might have not known that you needed and help discovering. Need to add some spice? Not sure how? Come to triplexplayground.com, all right? And let me get into our guest. I'm going to introduce our guest. All right, so Michelle Hope is a dedicated sexologist, educator, and activist with over 15 years of experience and delivering impactful and informative lectures and training across the nation. Her work in marginalized urban communities like people like me, has provided her with deep insight and comprehension on the holistic implications of sexuality and one's personal life. The sexual education seminars, lectures, and workshops educate individuals on safe sexual practices and prevention, including, not but limited to, the therapeutic. I
know, there's too much. It's enough. I'm here. You're too kind. Too kind. That shit is so wordy.
But I did want to let everybody know, like, there's some of my favorite publications she's been featured on.
Oh.
Michelle has appeared on Power 105, Breakfast Club, Rollin', at Smart and Unfiltered, BET Black Coffee, Dr. Brenda Wade's Modern Life, Lip Service Brilliant Idiots. And he didn't put Horrible Decisions on here.
That tells you how old that is. I love Horrible Decisions. Those are my girls.
Drop a bomb for Horrible Decisions for Weezy and Mandy, especially since they the ones who in the studio.
Right. We sitting on their land right now.
Exactly. How you doing, Michelle?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Let me get into news real quick, all right? All right, so Nzuri Kabila is the literal Swahili translation for the term beautiful tribe. Keeping with the cultural continuity of our brand, Tribe Chat begins with the Swahili term for what's the news, Habari Gani. All right, so for our first news bulletin, Netflix new show Principles of Pleasure tackles women's pleasure. Okay, so Netflix new limited series, The Principles of Pleasure, narrator and comedian Michelle, is that Batiel? Batois. I'm sorry. Now, it takes viewers on an educational journey about women's pleasure. The series is an eye-opening limited series that celebrates the complex world of women's pleasure. It features interviews with sex therapists, scientists, and real people in hopes to dispel myths, and while equipping viewers with the assurance and knowledge to confidently prioritize their own pleasure on their own terms and sex lives. You should be in that series. Are you in it? Did it hit you up?
Who's in it? That's what I want to know now.
On our next bulletin, oh shit, check this out. So Tinder will allow users to run background checks on their matches.
Good.
Okay, so all right, according to article in Complex, all right, so Match Group Incorporated, which also owns such dating apps such as Match.com, OkCupid, and Hinge, partnered with woman-founded non-profit organization Garbo last year in an effort to provide people with more transparency and information about whom they connect with. Hold up, pause. Your information, yo. Y'all really named your organization Garbo? What the fuck? All right, now let me continue. But anyway, the program will scour public records and alert someone if their match has any prior arrest or convictions, as well as notify them if they have registered as a sex offender. Garbo only requires a full name and phone number to run a background check, which typically takes around 3 minutes. The first 2 searches are free, followed by a $2.50 subsequent fee for every search. Garbo founder Catherine Kosmines explained that the intention behind the features is to educate users about the individual they match with, while also working to prevent them from putting themselves in a harmful situation. It's a question of what should be public and what should be private, Kosmines says. Her insider, and when it comes to safety and information that can help make me more informed personal safety decision, that should be public. If I should be able to easily access that information. Okay, now on to final news bulletin. Stevie J appears to be getting topped off in an interview.
What?
Okay, yo, hold on. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta star Stevie J was laying shirtless on a bed and appeared to be receiving oral sex from an unidentified woman in an interview, according to TMZ. Stevie J was apparently receiving oral sex during a FaceTime interview with a reporter. While the act himself might be shocking, what's wilder is that she soldiered on. As a matter of fact, yo, can we play that clip?
Of kids that your father had. And so I want to talk about, you talked about some of the issues that you've had with your children's mothers at times. And did it ever hurt your feelings when the narrative in the media was that you don't take care of your kids when family is so important?
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate you for asking that. So what it is right now for Mimi, she know I love her, and I don't like the narrative that everybody else push, Mm-hmm. Mimi know what's up.
But did it hurt your feelings? Like, they tried to say...
Okay, the journal's name is Leah A. Henry, and she featured the Love and Hip Hop star and Bad Boy producer during an appearance on Leah's Lemonade show, where she was discussing a new special of his and asking a lot of good questions, obviously taking it seriously. However, it became clear quickly that Stevie J himself wasn't nearly in the same headspace. God damn, it's in big ass caps and shit too. As her, not only was he shirtless lying in bed, but he seemed to have company. At one point, after a mysterious hand enters Stevie's frame, Henry flat out asked him, "What the heck is going on here?" He's coy about it, and he never directly cops to being on the receiving end of the sex act, but that definitely seems to be what's going on here. Amari the Rebel Man, that's your answer to What's the News, Habari Ghani. So how you doing?
Yeah. I would have. I mean, good for her, because she'll go viral off that.
Yeah, man.
So good for her. But I would have been like, I don't have time. You know what? Don't let me get started. I just don't.
He was getting his head right.
Apparently so. He was getting his head right.
Since we're actually speaking about sex, and we're talking about sex and language and sex and communication, I want to get right into what got you here. All right, so let's,
years of hard work.
Yes, let's of course get right into the viral clip. So can we play that clip, please?
Why are you trying to beat me up? Why are you trying to murder me? I want to be very, very clear. The language by which we talk about sex in Black communities is disturbing. We talk about, oh, I'm finna beat it up. I'm gonna shoot up the club. I'm gonna murder the pussy. Why are we using violent language to describe an intimate act?
Okay.
I don't know. I want him to murder the pussy.
She likes it. Right there.
Now, you know, I think it's like when you have really good sex and it's called beating up the pussy, like this whole area gets really swollen and fat and it hurts.
Yeah, no,
You
I
know?
get that.
So that's like the beat up.
Listen.
Okay, let me just ask. So tell us why you feel taking extra consideration to how we describe sex and anatomy is an exclusive responsibility to the Black people.
Well, I think that when you look at the rates of violence in Black and brown communities, you have to understand, where does this language come from? Where does sex and violence stem from? I'm not saying it stemmed from us. I'm saying years of colonizers abusing us, literally using us to breed people. This is all white. This is historically connected to slavery. And we have continued to perpetuate the same type of slave language, and we now do it to each other. And when you think about sex, because I don't care what you do with your bedroom, as long as it's consensual and it is enthusiastically consensual, do what you want. Say what you want. What you say behind closed doors, I'm all for it. My point in that conversation was, how would you describe sex without things like beat it up?
I mean, to tell you the truth, this is what I like. All right.
No. How would you describe it?
How would I describe it? Sex? It depends on what type of sex act I'm trying to do. Like, I might be like licking the pussy, or like, I just want it to sound like vulgar and like disgusting. Like, even if it doesn't sound aggressive and like I'm gonna beat it up, like I just want to make it sound as much disgusting.
Do we not have enough words?
Like, yeah, let's like, let's swallow each other's cum and all types of shit like that. And like,
I mean, that's better. But my question, I guess the question is, do we not have other language for sex besides beat it up?
But I feel like, you know what, here's where it comes down to, because I watched the interview with Weezy and Mandy and you, and I gotta say, like, I know we initially talked about this on Instagram, and initially we seem like, I'm with Weezy. You know, I do understand the connection, because when it comes down to one distinction I wanna make, when it comes to language, when it talks about the remnant of where it comes from, I had somebody on this show talk about the term Queen of Spades in terms like BBC. It's a difference in a line that we're drawing, because these are ways that I choose to express myself. I think that, we definitely have a lot more conversation for that when we're talking about people outside of our community and what they feel like they should call us.
But, when we do this publicly, we perpetuate it and give them the okay, or they think they have the okay to then use that language.
We have the agency to talk and express ourselves, comfortably, because like I even get to understand in this line of work what BDSM is, which is a consensual power exchange, which doesn't mean to normalize that, okay, listen, since you've seen this person right here who is a sub, that means you're supposed to treat people as a sub. No, they entered into an agreement, a trusting relationship between the dominants and themselves, in which they negotiated terms that make them feel safe and comfortable, and that looks like to them being submissive. That looks like bottoming to them. You know what I'm saying? And the people who are listening and good sex, and I'm getting to the climax, and climax is overloading your senses. I just found out from watching Hard or Soft, and they're definitely interested in having you on. It looks like to me, or it sounds like to me, beating it up. And also like, we're rhythmic people. Like, it's a beat. Like, it's like, I'm having sex on some musical shit. Shoot up the club.
Beat it up. Murder the pussy. I mean,
listen,
this is.
I'm shooting up the club is because like my semen is like little bullets, like pop, 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 pop. Like I'm shooting up the club and all of that type of shit. Like, I just think people we don't know. Mm-hmm. We don't read enough. I'll say it. A lot of us do not read enough. But Black people need the range that we don't have to practice the respectability politics that sounds like, hey, black people need to pull your pants up and stuff. We need the same range to be just as human as white people and other peoples of color. I don't think that our responsibility alone should be having to police our language and have to carry the burden of respectability politics above everyone else.
Listen, I'm not saying, quite frankly, I'm almost tired of this beat it up conversation because it gets nowhere. People continue to think that I'm policing people's language. That's not what the fuck I'm doing.
Yes.
I'm trying to save lives. And when the FBI came out with statistics that in 2020, 4 black women or girls were murdered every motherfucking day, we have to start thinking about the way we talk to each other.
And when you say 4 little girls, it's just so...
The way we talk to each other in all aspects of our language.
What month is this about?
It is Women's History Month.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I just think like, I mean, I have a lot of issues and I don't often like... I try to stay in my lane and people want to talk about, oh, beat it up the pussy and da 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 da. Like, sure, everybody like get your back blown out. Again, these are very violent. These are all violent terms, okay? Yeah. And when we think about this and who hears this, who's watching this, when young people don't have access to quality sex education.
Yeah, I do think we need more access to quality sex education. We do.
And if like... When they don't have that and they're just going to porn and podcasts to hear people talk about murdering the pussy and beating it up or watching graphic adult content, which, you know, we have to understand most of it is violent. I'm not saying that it's bad.
I'm here, Michelle. We're going to do some non-violent porn. I'm going to make sure that my porn is not violent for you.
No, I think you can have rough sex.
Yeah.
But I think the algorithms by which pop up, it is the more violent porn that gets to the top of the feeds.
Yes, of course.
Because it gets the more clicks, the more, because people are like, whoa, even if it's not,
exactly.
Even if it's not, but we also have to remember that people that are in adult films, adult film performers have consented to those acts.
Exactly.
The problem, this is my thing. We out here running around talking about beat up the pussy, murder the draws. A lot of people didn't know on that show, on a lot of the shows, I worked in schools. Again, my resume says it, for 12 years. And there are young people who think that this is the way this goes. That is the problem. That there is nothing, there is no counter to that.
We need to mitigate everyone's opportunity to some material because to tell you the truth, they don't have the maturity and the foresight to be able to conceptualize, okay, look, this is consensual and such. Right. So let me move, if I can, let me move forward to something like not messy at all. You know what I mean?
How's it?
Can you bring up that? Can you bring up this next tweet real quick?
I'm so sorry. It's always a little messy.
All right. So I wanted to ask you this. Can you tell me why do you feel Dr. Umar and Kevin Samuels are the purest kind of dumpster to women's liberation?
Oh, because why do I think that? I said what I said. Yeah, if you can, it may not play, but I did say what I said. Because I think that they use a very misogynistic, right? And misogyny is somebody that just has an inherent dislike for women.
Right.
And they can tell you over and over that they love women, but the way they tear women down, that's not somebody that loves women. And there's other individuals and podcasts that are popping up left and right, I swear to
that's
all
what I'm saying.
Things. It is as if the government has dropped off podcasts, equipment sets, the motherfuckers in the hood like they did crack in the 80s.
Well, it's like the way that the monetization when you can be a personality and such. But like, you mean to tell me you don't think that we need more high value men?
Let me tell you something about high value men. First it was high value men, and then it was if you're a high value woman, nobody wants you. And let me be quite clear. There are studies that have been done that, 2.5 times. So black men that make over $100,000 are 2.5 times more likely not to marry than their white counterparts.
Right.
So maybe we don't want a high value man. Right. Additionally, there is some research out there that speaks to the salary gap between $75,000 and $100,000 in black men, and that black men that are somewhere at like 75,000 are more likely to stay in a happier marriage than men at 100,000 or plus.
Well, it's just too much access out here, man. You got too much access. You know?
I mean, when I read some of these studies, I was just dead because guess what? It's not looking great for me.
Okay.
Right? Like I am an acquired taste and it's sweet, but maybe a little too sweet and spicy.
That's a good segue to here's something that please, I wanted to, it's like I brung you here just to talk about this one fucking question right here. As a sexpert, can you lend your expertise on the long-standing idea that a woman's vulva loses elasticity with sexual partners? Can you please speak on that?
Oh, no, it absolutely does not.
Thank you.
It absolutely does not. Actually, if you don't use it, you can lose it. So if you're not, boom. If you don't use it, you can lose it. So you do need to pleasure yourself as women age. Like I'm of a certain age. I've always said that. Even post-menopausal, I'm not menopausal, but you should be masturbating because you can lose sensation. You can, and you need to lubricate. So you should use lubes.
She should be masturbating?
Yeah.
Should
absolutely.
I be masturbating her?
You can masturbate her. You can.
Do I have to use my hand?
Masturbate her. What?
Oh, they all?
Everybody.
Good segue, because that actually was about to ask you. Tell us about your experience with non-monogamy. Have you openly been with multiple partners romantically?
I mean, I'm damn near 40 years old, of course. I think we've all been in non-monogamous relationships. I just don't know about how ethical we are about them. That's my personal opinion. Right? And don't let me go on to say...
You be cheating?
No. Don't let me go on and say... But I also have found out... I've, in older age, found out like people I dated like when I was younger, they'd be like, but we dated for a long time. And I'd be like, oh, I thought we was just fucking.
Wow. Don't get in your feelings with Michelle Hope. Oh, shit.
I mean, it makes me sad now because... You know, now I'm like an old hag. And according to all these Kevin Samuels and Umar Johnsons and the other podcasters of the world.
She's just being honest. I just don't understand that. I don't know why black women want to subject themselves to this shit. Why y'all keep fucking legitimizing him? Why y'all keep calling into that bullshit show?
No, I really don't know why people call into that show.
Also, what are your views on like group sex and like swinger lifestyle events? Have you ever been to like a sex party before? Or a swinger party?
I have been to some events. A lady never tells her business, but I have been. And I think that the bottom line is if you've been, you've participated because even being a voyeur at those spaces is participation. Right? So I'll just say that. As far as group sex, like, you know, I identify as queer.
Right.
I've always, in my last relationship, my last long-term relationship, we definitely were open and would have playmates from time to time.
Oh shit, y'all fucking having orgies?
I like a...
Sound like Mandy House.
I like an appetizer.
An appetizer?
Or a dessert. They don't need to be a part of the main course. No, that's not true. I mean, I like a little variety from time to time.
Fabulous says she got an appetite for dick. I guess I'll place my crotch.
So I appreciate... I think multiple partners can be fun. You also can wake up in the morning and have somebody else fucking your man, though. So prepare for that.
Yeah, you got to have the conversation about consent and boundaries and such. But if I can, moving forward in a much more serious conversation, can you tell us about RPG, reproductive justice?
Okay. So the reproductive justice get down. So that is really the understanding that all people have the right to bodily autonomy, especially women, to make decisions about when to have children, how to have children. And the most important part is to ensure that they have a safe and sustainable place to raise the children that they have.
Of course, man. We're all pro-life until the babies come out and you're like, fuck them kids.
And it's not just about, fuck them kids. It's like, where's the neighborhood that they're living in? And so I say this to say, we need the tribe to come together with all these...
the tribe, you heard that? We need the tribe.
We need the tribe to come together and start paying attention to abortion rights. That's what I wish motherfuckers would do. Stop listening to Kevin Samuelson. Stop listening to Umar, to all these little fucking podcasts, and start really paying attention to abortion rights. Because they are going to go away very soon, okay? Iowa just passed a law. Florida just passed a law. If Mississippi goes, Roe v. Wade will crumble.
That's what I was saying. Like Roe v. Wade is just like law to me. I always looked at it as law, but it's just like I never really started thinking about how flexible, unfortunately, some of the things that we fought so hard for can be just after, especially after Ruth Bader Ginsburg was gone. That just seems like such a, like, oh shit.
No, Republicans have been planning this for a long time, a very, very long time. So instead of talking about what kind of high value man you want, you all need to be talking about abortion and how we're going to identify ways to help people access abortion.
If you're going to be shooting up the club and shit.
This is what I'm saying. And not only that, there's a lot of motherfuckers out here who have benefited from women's ability to access abortions. And they don't even know it. Like Rick Ross said, they ain't even know it.
Like me, man, because I'll do porn and sometimes we end up shooting up the ejaculating inside of her in an intimate way. But let me move forward. That's a good segue to actually talk about some of the activist work that I do, which is for SWAP Brooklyn. Now, SWAP Brooklyn is for Sex Worker Outreach Brooklyn. It was founded in 2019. Actually we bring up that. It was founded in 2019 with the mission to build community and provide mutual aid to sex workers in Brooklyn and to support efforts and sibling organizations like Sex Worker Outreach Bronx and Red Canary Song. And part of what I do for the organization is like we assist in like ground level harm reduction services like every week, like on Friday night. Yeah, they had to pick Friday fucking night for us to be doing that shit. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Friday nights we are with like fentanyl test kits, Narcan, condoms, hygiene supplies, even clothes and foods.
Let me know. I'll come volunteer.
Yes, we also provide stipends for sex workers in a community that we recognize as a known stroll. And last year, I had to give a shout out to SWAT Brooklyn. We were able to give out $58,000 in stipends to communities in need, thanks to the generosity and kindness to everybody who was able to donate at SWAT Brooklyn. You guys can go to SWAT Brooklyn's website. You can donate and you can go to SWAP USA, like I say, to find a constituency of sex workers in your community. Yo, for real, we'd love to have you. And any information you can tell us about what we can do effectively for harm reduction. All right. But as a matter of fact, I wanted to go to a question.
Yep.
Can we go to a question? Somebody knew that you were going to be showing up here, as I said, like you were such a superstar. You know what I'm saying?
Far from it.
Hey, Michelle. Happy Women's Her Story Month. My name is Elle Monique, and I am a Black lesbian womanist who works in the field of HIV intervention and prevention. I am happy to be able to ask you a question today, so here goes. The fact that the majority of hip-hop lyrics seem to promote themes of violence, misogyny, homophobia, and a lack of female body autonomy, what suggestion or advice might you offer for elevating women's voices where empowerment is not reduced to our looks, our bodies, and abusing our vaginas?
A really dope question.
So, what do you say?
Well, I think it's twofold because this is like a beauty pageant question. Basically, like, how do we dismantle the patriarchy in 45 seconds?
Yeah, I feel you.
So I think that it's a big job, but I think the way we uplift women is by uplifting women and women uplifting women. And also, instead of calling out, I know I did call out a lot of people, rather call in, right?
Yes.
So to the Kevin Samuels, to the men that say high value women aren't worth anything, right? Call them in and say, why do you think that? Why?
Also, we can take some time to think about the brothers who aren't empowering a message, who aren't raising a message that is about disempowering women and continuing misogyny. People like Hard as Soft, my brother STO, Kavanaugh.
Let's Not Be Trash. That's another really good one.
Yes, of course. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of brothers who have something to say that doesn't even necessarily have anything to do with how to further yourself in the relationship sphere. There's a podcast that happens right here in What the Fuck Media Studios. And this gentleman is, I forgot, what's his name? Is it Ian, the Master Investor? The Master Investor. Everybody is so serious about money. There's an episode about crypto. He was featured on The Breakfast Club. You guys need to check out everybody who's on What the Fuck Media Studios, as a matter of fact. Oh, and I wanted to say, now, so the lady whom I brung up, does she look like anybody to you?
Do I have a child with her that I'm not paying support?
No.
Is that what's happening here?
Now, I wanted to shout out a harm reduction specialist, poet, journalist, and my mother, who sent you a copy of her book.
Oh, I did get that this morning. Tell her I said thank you.
Okay.
I'm going to read it.
Yes.
I'm excited to read it, and I'll review it.
Okay, I didn't even get to explain, because the book is about how cultural gaps and homophobia has kept my 15-year-old daughter from ever being able to meet my mother, ever. They've never met, ever.
Why?
My ex-wife is a more traditional Jamaican.
Oh.
With hate.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? When I learned
that's tough. I'm sorry.
When I learned that you grew up with two mothers in Indiana, I originally felt a bond with you, so I wanted to share that. And hoping that you guys could get to check out my mom's book, as a matter of fact. If we can pull that up real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna read it. And I feel very, I just spoke at a college, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Not my class, because I do teach a class, but I spoke at a college and they brought up sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an individual in the audience who I could tell was Caribbean. And afterwards came up and asked me if I could help them find support services.
Mm-hmm.
And they were much older than I am. But it made me realize that culture, community, nationality,
yes,
religion, all of those things can impact an individual's ability to access care.
Yes, it impacts my ability to do this show. You hear my English isn't too great. You know what I'm saying?
But it just is, again, sex education can actually be a vehicle for social change.
Mm-hmm.
It can help us to dismantle the patriarchy.
Right.
It can help us to view people not based on the sexual scripts that have been given to them through racialized sexual tropes.
Of course.
Right? Bingo.
Talk about it.
So, and really start to unpack and help people unlearn all the shit that we've picked up in music and hip hop and all these things. Because what really blows my mind is, who is writing these checks?
Exactly.
In the 90s, when the hip hop was really, really bad, that's when I was coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You remember? Remember
That's
video?
when I was a rapper.
Remember the video where they poured the 240s on that girl? That was a great song, though. But you know what I mean?
Oh, you remember BET Uncut and shit?
Oh, do I ever? BET Uncut.
Yes, I was just so enthusiastic about getting able to see booty late night at 3 o'clock in the morning and shit. All right, so before I close out, I wanted to talk frankly about an issue and a conversation about health and wellness, particularly in the Black community. So, if you are even vaguely familiar with alternative medicine, you have heard the name Dr. Sebi. All right, so born under the name Alfredo Bowman in 1933 in Honduras, Dr. Sebi was a champion of radical, non-traditional forms of medicine in the eyes of many Black people. He learned herbal remedies from his... Hold on 1 second. He learned herbal remedies from his grandmother, traveled to the U.S., and his controversial methods and ideas actually catapulted him to celebrity status, even becoming the star of fallen rapper Nipsey Hussell's documentary. All right, so the late Nipsey Hussell spoke on a documentary on a Breakfast Club in an interview saying, I am working on a documentary on a trial in 1985 when Dr. Sebi went to trial in New York because he put in a newspaper that he cured AIDS. He beat the case. Then he went to federal court the next day and he beat that case. But nobody talks about it, said Nipsey. Let's actually play a clip of Dr. Sebi's thoughts on women's menstruational cycle and the color of sperm, please.
That when they're eating from the nutritional guides, their menses stop. Should they be worried about fertility?
When they said that when they eat from the nutritional guide, that the menses stop.
Some menses stop, and some feel no more pain, which is good, but some people just stop altogether. So they're worried about, well, am I fertile?
Wait. What again? Menses. Are we supposed to see, a woman supposed to see her menses every month according to the norm? Yes. Not according to life. History didn't show that, doesn't show that. I am told by many ancient people that the woman used to menstruate once every 4 years.
Wow.
And only for 10 minutes. But her body was clean. And my sperm wasn't white, it was green. Now my sperm is white, and you have a mens every month. You're releasing an ovum every month that is unnatural because you're accelerating the body. High metabolism. No. So when some of them says that the menses stop, it could be a good reason, it could be a good thing.
That sounds good. So they're still fertile.
Sure.
So, women menstruate every 4 years and sperm is green sperm. So since we have an expert on sexuality here with us, let's unpack green sperm.
I mean, honestly, the only thing your sperm can change colors sometimes when there's an infection. If you have orange sperm, that usually means you've got some internal bleeding in your prostate, which is bad, or an infection in your prostate. It's seminal fluid that's made in the prostate. It's not, sperm isn't all gametes. It's a fluid that is your prostate. You should be milking that also. You know, Black people do have the highest rate of cancer.
So jerk off.
Or milk, which is where you use a little anal probing and masturbation.
So you need to stick a finger in your ass and jerk off?
You could probably press the perineum or do a perineum massage, but if you really want to you don't need much. You just need maybe an inch in and just tickle that prostate.
And it'll shoot out, but it won't shoot green.
No, it should not shoot green. And then the idea of, first of all, I feel like that.
So cum is not green if you're not the... He made that up. Really?
I mean, I think he was trolling, just like blue waffle isn't a thing.
Little early with that one.
People really are going to hate us for that because people love what he has to say.
So menstruating every 4 years.
Menstruating every 4 years is problematic. You have to understand, as I was listening to that, I was thinking about what is happening, right?
Uh-huh.
What is happening when you're having a menstrual cycle is that the uterine lining is shedding. It is shedding. And if you're not pregnant, I can explain it to you like I would explain it to my kids when I used to. There is such thing as the uterine hotel. That's what I would call the uterus because I would let the young people know.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you check out of a hotel. What do?
They clean up the room.
They clean up the room. They change the sheets, right? So same for your menstrual cycle.
Mm-hmm.
You're imagining that uterus is a little uterine hotel.
Oh.
And if you have intercourse, the sperm and the egg meet. They actually meet in the fallopian freeway. That is where we get ectopic pregnancies if it gets lost and it implants in the fallopian tube. But that is where the sperm and egg meet. Then they travel to the uterine hotel and they check in. If the egg goes ahead and hits that uterine hotel and there's no sperm to fertilize it, They check out, and then the uterine lining is cleared out. You can't have once every 4 years is not a thing.
So he's talking shit. Okay, so I wanted to continue. Dr. Sebi's claims have absolutely nothing to do, him curing AIDS have nothing to do with PrEP. Now, according to the Center for Disease Control, that stands for pre-exposure prophylaxis, medicine that at risk for HIV people take to prevent from getting to prevent from getting or an injection. There are two medications approved for the use of PrEP. That is Truvada, is for all people at risk through sex, or injecting drug use, and Descovys, people at risk through sex except for people assigned female at birth who are at risk for getting HIV through vaginal sex. You can read more information about the side effects for Descovy and Truvada on the Center for Disease Control's website. Now, I just want to say the spread of the international Rona pandemic forced people into quarantine 2 years ago. But the way vaccinations are met with continued resistance has me wondered if our vision of 2020 is really that clear. All right. Amongst us, one of the most dangerous pathogens. It's highly contagious. And sometimes it can kill you. It has been around for years before HIV and has more strains than COVID. And this virus continues to evolve. This virus is ignorance. Or should I perhaps say misinformation? The misinformation is what leads adolescents to make uninformed sex decisions, stigmatizing the lives of queer people, and lead to behaviors that make people scared to get tested and to know who to talk to about the difficult but needed conversations about sex. Go to the experts. Vet them and vet the information you receive. And if you're shooting out green sperm, definitely see an expert on some real shit. With respect to Dr. Sebi, he is actually not a doctor and has no medical training at all.
Sounds like Kevin Samuelson.
All right, much of his statements is not even grounded in science. But, some people want to continue to believe in busting a green nut despite all the evidence of the contrary. Some people take it as far as to rant their anti-vax, all-curing herbs narrative to the populace, making it even harder for professionals like Michelle to get the real information out. And we have a special song dedicated to highlighting the brilliance of people just like you. Can we play our jingle for those people, please? All right, so before I close out, I have to ask you a serious question that I ask everybody on the show, okay? Michelle.
Yeah.
Do you eat ass?
I have to think about that.
You had to think about that one? It's a complicated one? Now do that to everybody. That's like when we
do they always make the same face I did?
Nah, you do that shit. Like everybody thinks I'm about to ask them a serious question. I'll be like, yo, I'm about to eat ass because it's like, it represents we're at the ass of the interview.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
The tail end.
Yes.
I like that.
Okay, so also, I wanted to ask, I think I might have sent you this. So if you have, this is the last question I ask everybody, 4 famous people that you're so attracted to that you feel like, you know what, I want to fuck them all at the same damn time. Let me know who is on your fantasy 4 fuck list, Michelle.
Does it gotta be at the same time? Like the same time?
Well, who's on your fantasy 4 fuck list?
I don't know if I could handle all of them at the same time. So that's why I was asking.
Okay.
How about just like
4
back to back?
Of course.
In the same day?
Yes.
Can I shower between them?
Of course.
It might need to be 2 days.
Health is wealth. Health is wealth.
I like to take my time. So I'm pretty sure Jason Momoa.
He came up in this show twice. Matter of fact, when we had Shorty from TLC on the show, she brought up Jason Momoa.
There is an actor, people may or may not know who he is, Stephen Bishop.
Stephen Bishop.
Child, that one he could get it.
Wow.
I'll say it.
Shout out to Stephen Bishop, y'all.
Yes, because he's, anyway, who else do I want to sleep with? I actually thought about this, but there's so many out there.
Mm-hmm. 2 more.
Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. You know what? Probably Rihanna. We gotta put her on the list.
Pregnant? No, man, with the big belly and shit. We got one more.
Maybe not pregnant, but I just am not into pregnant women. That's just not my bag.
I hear that.
And then Jenny McCarthy at the height of her career.
Jenny McCarthy.
In the 90s.
I think she's like hilarious and such, but she got some real big titties, man.
Yeah, like back in the Playboy heydays, like I probably would have.
You like titties?
I do like titties. I've always said I wanted to buy my own titties. But at this point,
your titties are perfect.
I'm not. Listen, you've been very complimentary to me.
I actually, a long time ago on my other Instagram account, I actually complimented, like she had something that like you could see her nipple out, and I commented on it, and I was like, it's nice, and I put a lot of periods. She was like, you commented my nipple, don't make it weird. I was like,
because they like to make appearances in the summertime.
Oh yeah, man. We're happy they're here for real, man.
I'm happy they're
and we
here,
hope
too.
that they show up more often.
I mean, perhaps I'm trying to step out of my conservative comfort zone.
You should come to our events. You could definitely step all the way out your zone.
I probably won't do that.
You can think about it. We have a group chat. So this organization here, we have people, they get to know each other and get to fraternize in between events.
Let me just be real with you. People put a lot on me. They think like I'm going to swing from chandeliers and like I'm super great at sex.
Right.
I'm probably not. I just want to let people
We're
lower
all learning,
your standards.
We're all learning. Like, who is like great at sex?
I throw it back pretty well.
Probably watching porno. So before we go, can you let everybody know where to find you, Michelle?
You can follow me at MHSexpert. I do want to really quickly, because it was Women and Girls HIV Awareness Day like a couple days ago. Ladies, PrEP is for you. All of the ads make it seem like it's not for you. PrEP is for you, especially the Truvada, which is you can use. Talk to your doctor, go to the CDC website. Please, please, please. It's Women's History Month. Get on PrEP and push your doctors, because a lot of times they'll say, well, you're not really at risk. You're not really at risk. You know, it doesn't matter. If you want to get on PrEP, it keeps you safe. Get on PrEP. I just had to put that out there. You know, shameless PrEP plug. And then at MHSexpert, and I'm there all the time. I'm trying to get into TikTok, which is also MHSexpert. Facebook, they've pretty much kicked me off.
TikTok, man, I don't see how y'all got the patience for that shit.
But Instagram, I'm there. It's not as exciting as you would think. I talk about my face peels. I talk about real life shit. I sometimes show up in my bed. Often I'm in bed.
Wait, before we go, are you partnered?
Am I partnered? The world will never know.
But if there's a gentleman or a young lady who's interested in Michelle,
slide in my DMs.
Oh shit, yo, y'all could jump in Michelle's DMs.
I mean, first of all, but caveat here: no dick pics, no pussy pics. I don't fucking play that shit. You will get blocked.
Of course.
Just because I don't want to see your dick, because that's again going back to thinking because I work in this profession that I want sex all the time. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
I do porn. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, yo,
people do that to you too.
Like right at the top of my screen, it's like my dick, and like I was so fucking mad. Like, yo, this is probably why Michelle unfollowed me, man, because it's like at the top of the thing on my pinned tweet, you see a woman putting a whole bunch of spit on a whole bunch of my genitals, and I was like, oh shit.
That's your job. Good for you.
Yes, for real, man. But listen, like I said, we want to make sure that like in our organization, you should definitely get with us at SWAT Brooklyn. We're doing what we can to empower sex workers, but also the community, man. Giving out stuff for the community is great. And
Tell me when.
It was so dope talking to you, Michelle, and you're such a wealth of information. Like I said, when we have events, we're going to think about doing a live show for this.
Okay.
And the next time we see each other, my co-host will be
great.
Here. Yes. And we want to have you back. You have so much information to give. And consider hollering at a couple of the homies, especially like the homie Orlando and Tahoe. They are good people. They came here. That was my favorite episode of the show, when they actually came here. Hard to Soft podcast. But listen, you guys, my name is Omari the Rebel, man. And I want to thank everybody for letting me in your platforms. Make sure that you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and add us on Facebook. Stream our podcast on streaming platforms and check out our merchandise store via Teespring to get our Nzuri Kabila as well as our Tribe Chat merch. And make donations to our PayPal to support our show. With your help is how we're able to bring the show to you. Special thanks to Triple X Playground as well as XI Bunny for helping bring this episode right here to you. Stay tuned for the next show. I'm Amari the Rebel, y'all.
Hey girl, what's up? Oh, you want to know how it went? Let me tell you, this game, it really knows what it's doing. I mean, it just takes me there again and again and all over again. And normally I'm a really good actress. And, you know, I can just kind of fake my way there. But I don't even have to with this. It really is the best. Triple X Playground. Come play with me.